It is Monday, July 29th, 2024, 7:30 p.m., and I call this meeting of the Needham Design Review Board to order. I'm the board chair, Mark Glusing. I would like to confirm that all members and applicants are present and can be heard. So when I call your name, please respond. Steve Dornbush,
Here.
Felix Zemmel,
Here.
oh, there's somebody lurking off screen. And then they are also attending.
That phone number is for Mehmet.
Okay, great. Also attending are town staff, Elisa Lichman. Applicants, 952 Great Plain Ave, Little Spoon. Is anyone here yet? Okay.
I've seen them. They were here earlier and then they
920
disappeared.
922 Highland Ave, Unique Laser. Is that
Yes,
you?
I'm here.
Okay, and 950 Highland Ave, Creasier Insurance. Someone here representing them?
Richard Biggins is,
Yes,
950 Island Ave.
yes.
Okay, you can hear us, Richard?
Yes, I can hear you guys fine.
Welcome to this open meeting of the Needham Design Review Board, which is being conducted remotely consistent with state orders. The orders allow public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. For this meeting, Needham Design Review Board is convening by Zoom app as posted on the town's website, the Design Review Board page, identifying how the public may join. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. All supporting materials that have been provided to members of this board are available on the town's website. Public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. Be aware that other people may be able to see you and take care not to screen share unless the chair approves. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. I would like to review the remote meeting procedures for tonight's meeting. I will introduce each applicant on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will take comments or questions from Design Review Board members. After discussion, each vote will be by roll call vote. The building department requires electronic submission of building permit applications. A copy of your application, stamped and noted for the type of approval that it receives, will be emailed to you by the DRB support staff. That can then be attached to your building permit application. We will start with the first item on the agenda. And that is, since they aren't here, we're going to move, that is Little Spoon Restaurant outdoor seating.
Okay.
They're here yet, so I will move to the second item, which is 922 Highland Avenue, Unique Laser, applying for signage. Lynette, you want me to put that up on the screen so you can talk to us?
Yes.
What? That's not what I'm looking for. Sorry, boys and girls. Hold, give me a sec. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. So what are you proposing to do here, Mehmet?
We have tried to do a new sign at the new place, a new name, but same business. But I sent to the with the new last minute decision, they changed the color of the sign and then letters, which is now they want a white background and a black letter. You know, Based,
So this is, so this is not the proposal.
Mr. Chair, I believe that Elisa sent out the proposed change just before the meeting,
Oh,
yeah,
the email.
let me look. Okay, well, I can't, maybe I can I can't get that up, but we can look at it. Everybody has it, I assume.
Yes, I sent it to everyone.
Okay,
I can share.
Oh,
the screen if
so-
you want.
I can see it here on the other item. So could you tell me the size of the letters? The uppercase letters above and the height of the laser letter, rather than just the sign size?
Uh, 1 second. Hmm. I need a couple minutes, 1 second, please. Base of the sign, 38 inches up and down, and then 147 left and right.
And the letters themselves?
My screen opening right now. Okay,
That's a requirement, Mehmet, on our application. You know, you need to try and remember that, please.
1 second. The letter size is 22 inches. The uppercase, larger letter, small letter is 6.5 inches.
Could you tell me the uppercase again?
22 inches,
23? Okay,
22.
32, I heard.
Oh,
no, there's not enough room for 32. The whole sign is
22,
30.
22,
22, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I had heard 32 and 6.5, and I was like, that does not sound
Yeah,
reasonable.
Yeah. Okay, so it's 22. So why don't we start with questions? Steve?
I'm looking at it now. I know this is just proposed. Is this gonna be on an awning like the previous one? And are you keeping the gooseneck lighting?
no, no awning, no gooseneck light. This is
Okay,
sign and then lighted letters, backlit letters.
it's like, the letters,
Yes,
so it's,
halo
light up?
letters. Yes. Halo letters.
okay, the one thing I also can't see on this is it going to be, along the same height as the other sign, as the wine and spirit?
Well, clearly not, because you can
Yeah,
see,
it's higher.
you can see it in the, I mean, I'm gonna use this as the example, but you can just see the
It's higher.
corner.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Now I can see that.
So no, it's not.
Mhm. I'm sorry, because I was having trouble at my end, because it's still a little bit muffled. So the sign is going to be lit from, the letters like will light up at night?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Are they backlit or do they illuminate? You said they were backlit.
Backlit, yes.
They're backlit, Steve.
Okay, the backlit, okay. The sign itself couldn't be much cleaner or simpler, so I have no problem except in making sure that it fits the size requirement in the space. And other than that, I'm okay from what I see. I'm a little concerned about the awkwardness of the height, that when you put it in, it doesn't like go, jump around on each side. So I would have been curious to see it with the adjacent signage, but it looks okay to me, other than confirming the size is legitimate, fits in. No other questions at this time.
Okay, Felix?
So unlike Steve, I actually have a number of issues that I don't like with this sign. The original sign, I agree with Steve, it looked good. I had no issues with the with the black background and the white lettering. It fit in with the Vino Divino sign. It fit in with the outlines from CVS, fit in with the motif of the area. But where they're inverting now the black and white, it feels like, especially where they're going to be backlighting it, that there's going to be too much lighting right at that intersection, coming from that backlighting. The white is going to be hard to maintain coloring, with the temperatures as they are, and the area. I just feel like having white background with black lettering it's too much of a clash with the area. It's going to cause too much lighting in the area. Scale wise, it's going to dilute the scale a bit there. I like the original. I'm not really in favor of this new design.
Okay, why don't I make a couple comments and then we can roll around to everybody again. Yeah, typically on a dark background building like red brick, white signs are rather glaring, a white background. So we would ask for that to, if you keep this approach, I would certainly want that to be a different color. Some level of beige or gray or something. The sign itself is, because you're putting it on a panel and not just mounting the letters directly on the wall, the panel itself is the area of the sign, and it's 38 square feet, so it's too big. So there's an issue there. And also, when you do look at the, let's see if I can blow this up a little bit.
The following page has it larger.
Yeah, I want to see this whole, I want to see all three of them together, the existing. Vino Divino, CVS, and if you go down the street, Trader Joe's, they're all around 12 inches high. So I'm a little reluctant to suddenly put 22-inch lettering on a panel that doesn't align with the other signage. I mean, I realize the CVS sign doesn't line out, but they have a roof over that doorway. But I would prefer that we do assign the height of Vino Divino and mount it the same way. So install it over the top of the glazing, so we have some consistency, because I think if you would go further left down to the emergency care place, they have a similar, we put a similar sort of requirement on them when they did their signage. So I don't think I want to approve a 22-inch high letter, just given that we have smaller. It is very simple, as Steve noted, so it doesn't, but Vino Divino is also very simple, other than their extra wording underneath. So but we need to find a different background color, Mehmet, or go back to the, I would agree with Felix that the black background with the white would be acceptable, but we need to.
Can you make it the brick color, like at base?
Yeah, is that going to work with black letters?
Yes. I can design and then take over. What are the other options, color-wise?
Well, I mean, a gray like the window panel appears in your rendering. Something, a light gray like that would, I think, would be acceptable. If that works for you. Let me go back to the other members and see, now that we've kind of all had a first pass at it. Steve, do you have any other?
Yeah, I feel kind of silly. I did not realize, I must have missed it. I'm on my phone, so I'm sorry. So I'm looking, it's not as
Yeah.
big and the sound's not great, but I didn't realize it's reversed, that you're talking about the white sign with black letters.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that. I apologize. I totally agree with everything you just said, period. So yes, now, that being the case, and especially the size, it's out of proportion to the other signage, and will kind of like jump out, and not in a good way.
Yeah, okay.
So I agree with everything that you just said.
Okay, Felix, any further thoughts on that?
I agree with everything that was said as well. I would ask if maybe we could continue this so that he can kind of come back with a redesign instead of doing an all-out rejection, potentially. Just because it sounds like he's got some work to do to change the scale of the sign, the coloring and such.
Well, yeah, well, I'll say that I am willing to make conditions on it and feel like from experience that I could make some conditions and be comfortable, but if you would rather really see it done, that's certainly an option.
Partially,
I would,
it's-
because what I would be saying is the uppercase letters need to be 14 inches high. And
Sounds
laser
good.
before, and then the panel itself reduced appropriately, proportionally. And that would get him into the proper square footage, and then he mounted right above the window like Vino Divino. And then we pick a background color. But if you'd really, I mean, that's leaving a lot of conjecture for us to a degree. So I understand if we want to actually have him give us a submission that does those things so that we can really see it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the conditions, but I think given the high profile location of this, right at that corner, we're going to be, the town just got approval from us a few months ago to put up the banners on the light poles around there. And there's so much future redevelopment of that area that's planned with the building across the street and such. And the train station, I feel like having a better look, and maybe Susan can join us, or will be able to join us, and provide some additional input. And that background color really is going to make a big difference, that I'd rather see the entire thing, kind of the whole package.
Steve, do you?
I actually, this is the time I agree with that, because once they reduce the font size of the letters, they might decide to rearrange it or change it. It might not be to their liking. So being a visual person, I would, with everything that you just described, I agree with 100%, to come back with a visual for us to look at, including in a picture showing the sign, but also including showing the signs on a wider angle of it, showing the signs on each side.
Well, basically, Mehmet, we would like you to redesign it for, I would suggest, a gray background if they don't want to do the original submission, which I'm looking at sharing, that you reduce this upper letter size to 14 inches. And if you want to reduce laser a little bit, I'm going to leave that up to you, how you handle that. But then you can reduce this sign panel appropriately. I expect that the Vino Divino is about 24. So if you can get down to that panel size, that would be great. And then show it sitting on the window here. And also show it here so that we can get the street context. Okay, is that some feedback you can work with? And then you will be then we'll continue to our next meeting, which is August 18th, I believe.
All right, let me talk to customers and then get back to you guys.
Well, yeah, those are our suggestions. You're free to take another approach and come back, okay?
All right.
August 19th.
August 19th.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, get back out here, sorry.
Do we need to make a motion for that?
No, we just continue it. But historically, we've just continued it. At least as I've been running the meetings, we haven't voted on that kind of thing.
I
'Cause
couldn't, so I apologize.
typically I haven't required a vote. It's simply his submission is still open. So we're not voting on anything at this time. So when he comes back, we'll just start the discussion again. Suddenly it's tiny. All right, the next applicant is 950 Highland Avenue, which is basically the same building, but there's office space, I believe, upstairs that is accessed from the parking lot side of the building. So this is, I don't know the correct pronunciation, Acrisure Insurance.
I believe that's how it's pronounced.
Okay. Now I'll just keep going with my screen share since it's up here. So Richard, why don't you take us through, please?
Pleasure. Yeah, it's essentially just a removal of an existing channel letter set from the prior insurance company. New branding, new name, and with their brand standards, they've come in with, one logo, line of text, standard facelit channel letters, basically to blend in with the adjacent businesses left and right. So nothing really dramatic or earth-shattering as far as change goes with this particular project.
I just want to clarify a couple of items.
Yep.
The height of the letters themselves, are they 2 feet or is it the triangle, the 2 feet?
There should have been 3 pages, I believe, set with this, but I believe the overall
Oh, here it
height
is.
of the triangle was 2 foot.
Okay.
And I actually think that's a typo. I think it's actually 22 inches, but
I found your chart here, 13 inches on the letters. Okay. That is what we call an EIFS facade. So that's a sort of a drive-it.
Yep.
Foam panel with a stucco finish, right?
correct.
Okay. And these are individually mounted letters which you'll wire together behind.
Yeah, they're all 12-volt low voltage
Okay.
LED wires. That'll be daisy chained on the inside of the parapet and then connected to a low voltage power source.
Okay. Felix, you want to go ahead?
I like this. Simple. It's simple. It size wise, everything wise, it just fits in in my opinion.
It's very clean and direct sign.
Yeah. Steve?
I agree with Felix's assessment. It's simple, clean, the colors look good. So I really don't have any questions.
Okay. We'll look at this. So my only question is it pin, are the letters set off of the building slightly as indicated here?
By the drawing, yes,
So-
but I believe that might have been standard clip art, but
Okay.
as it shows, it does show them with 1.5 inch spaces. Typically when these go to get installed as facelit channel letters, I believe, if I'm correct. Then they would be mounted flush.
Okay. That's fine. Um, and did you say that the existing sign is on a raceway?
If you can revert back to that picture. No, those are individually mounted
Okay.
letters.
Okay. So we just would ask that all the holes get patched and that it get painted.
Yeah, their GC will be taking care of that.
Okay, otherwise I think it's a nice sign, simple. Does what it does. I appreciate the size of the sign that it looks like someone looked at what else was there because that's pretty consistent across that facade. Again, similar to the street side. So I don't have any other issues. So I would take a motion to approve the Crisure insurance sign at 950 Highland Avenue as submitted. Well, I'm sorry, with the condition that the wall be patched and painted. Any existing holes be patched and painted.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
And we come to the vote. Steve,
Yes.
Felix,
Yes.
and I am yes. All right, thank you.
And not that this has anything to do with me, but the prior project that you guys were discussing. I just wanted to make one little suggestion. I don't know the guy, but I try to stick up for the sign guys. The way he had that sign proposed, the backlighting of that channel letter set would probably be about 60% less light than what is there, probably even a little bit more than what would be omitted from those gooseneck lights. So
Okay,
just little food for thought for the board. That's a very subdued lighting option that they were choosing for that color combination of the white letters with the black background.
Well, no, so the issue was that they were asking for a white background with black. They had emailed it to us.
Yeah,
Tim-
I saw it. That wasn't the way it looked like it was presented. So,
I couldn't get it on the screen share, but I was looking on my other computer for that. So we appreciate that, and generally we are fans of backlighting, backlit letters. That's probably our favorite style of illumination. So, but as you heard, the other issue we run into is when you have a big white panel on a darker building, it really is kind of a glaring contrast at times.
with the white, I would totally agree. I saw it on the screen with the black, and I might have caught it a little late, so I apologize for that. I was
No.
like, oh, that's going to be really subdued. I don't know why they see that as so bright, but
Well, we appreciate your help with the sticking up for the sign man.
we try to. All right, thank you guys. I appreciate the time and the attention to the project.
And we have. at
I
least
have a feeling that
we have
the
two other people,
attendees,
Yeah,
I think they may be actual applicants, but because of what's appearing and the fact that they're not logged in with the Zoom ID I sent them, I can allow them to talk and see, but
yeah. Why don't we ask that our system shows that there are 7 attendees right now, so
Yeah.
Elisa is going to allow one of the other 2 unnamed people to speak, and if you would tell us
okay.
who you are and if you have any business before us tonight.
Can you tell us who you are and
Papa M2.
what business? Yeah.
My name is Apilak from Leaderspoon.
Oh, okay. Great.
right.
Thank you. I'm going to allow the other person as well. Is his name Lee? Okay,
From
hold on.
Leaderspoon too, yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, so not sure who, is this a Pyrrhic
Apirak, yes.
and Lee? Okay.
Lee.
All right, are you able to, I'm gonna guess not, share your screen, or do you want me to put up your drawing that you
Yeah,
submit?
could you put up
Sure.
on the screen?
Yep. Go back to the top here. Okay, so why don't you explain your application to us, please, and we'll give you some feedback.
So just the outside, the dine, we have the table and the umbrella. So the table and chair we have the same last year. This year we just add the umbrella for
Okay.
the outdoor seating.
I'm just gonna go to the photos I saw. So this is already in place, I take it,
Yeah,
and you're kind of doing your permitting. I know it's a transition because initially the select board was allowing these without a lot of application process, but in the last couple of years, we've been requiring submission. I believe you have to go to the planning board as well.
for the outdoor seating.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. So this is what it is, basically. And
Yeah,
then I'll
right.
go back to the plan and let the members discuss any issues or questions they have. There we go. Nice sunny day for the photos. Okay, let me get back. Let's look at the layout first, and then we'll look at the furniture. If there's any questions from the board. Where am I? There we go. I'm going to leave it a little bit enlarged so that we can see. Does that work for everyone?
Mhm.
Okay. So Steve, you have any questions or comments?
I've walked through there, so basically what you're proposing, what's currently there. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes.
And I think the only question I have, it looks actually very nice, to make sure, I know you have the dimensions there, that the space in the sidewalk meets, requirements for people to get through there, and if someone has a wheelchair or whatever. But, it looked very nice, actually. So, I really don't have any questions if it's what's there.
Okay.
Okay.
Works.
So let me just make sure my volume's okay. So I'm trying to understand the drawings on the left and the right. One says proposed outdoor seating 18 seats, and one says proposed seating aisles and access ways. And they don't seem to fully jive with one another. So I'm trying to
Well, actually,
trying to reconcile.
Yeah,
Oh,
I would, I had that question initially, and so I did look at them more closely and pronounce the tables and chairs are in the same locations. He's just describing different things with the two. So if you looked down in this code box down in the corner, it talks about the requirements for outdoor seating. You have to have a 5% or at least one table handicapped accessible with 3-foot aisleways to it. And
Yep.
that's accomplished over here. And that's why he's showing those 3-foot. I believe that's, I don't want to speak for them, but that's, as we've seen these before, that was one of the things that needs to be shown, so that, and then on the drawing on the left, he is showing that he's got the 4-foot clearance with adjacent elements. So that's sort of how I was looking at it. But I do believe that the image
Yeah.
itself is the same. The information that they're showing is for different purposes, I think.
Yes, so where I'm running into this is I have kind of two hats that
Well,
I
you
wear.
you only get to wear one tonight, Felix, so.
Correct. And this kind of, so from a accessibility perspective, I'm trying to understand because I've been there this season, and as much as I love their food, love the concept, and actually they've been very responsive. That pinch point between the planter and the stanchion, between the plant, sorry, the pinch point between the planter
Here,
and, can you hear me?
yes, this area here, I'm waving.
Actually, a little further to the right, a little further to the left now, like where that aisle is, that
Yeah.
pinch point where that stanchion is, they actually have a planter there that they're using, not stanchions. And what I found on more than one occasion is that the width between the edge of that planter and the public seating area, whatever that is, I forget what it is. You just saw, you see that planter. That width actually is just shy, like a couple inches shy on more than one occasion of the 4 foot for people with disabilities. And to their credit, once I pointed it out, they fixed it right away. But
Okay.
it keeps,
I don't
but
want to, you know, we can point this out and make an issue, but there are other entities responsible for that. The building commissioner, first of all, and he'll review that when he reviews these drawings. So,
correct.
so I don't
And
want to.
I like the drawings themselves. I like the concept. Don't get me wrong about that. I just want to make sure that that's maintained.
Yeah, okay. I guess so what you're saying, Felix, is that the plan isn't necessarily accurate.
Well, it's accurate sometimes.
There's a
That's why I'm saying
planter
I'd like-
here. You show an aisle and there's a planter. Or is that a
Yes.
planter that, or am I?
Here's where the stanchion.
Okay,
that
let's
row
ask,
stand-
let's ask the applicant. Is there a planter here currently? Or I'm waving my cursor?
Yeah, it like look like that in the picture.
Okay, well, then you needed to show that on this drawing. You're telling us that we have an aisle here, but you don't. There's no aisle, there's a planter, right? So how do people get into all of this seating?
Lee. Lee.
But the ISO, that is the ISO. We don't have the panther over there. The panther is in the middle of the two table.
Yeah, the planter is in between the stanchions. The aisle is there. It's that first stanchion and second stanchion.
Oh,
After
here,
that. No, to the left. The left.
so that's a
there.
planter, not
Yes.
a bed. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's, all right, well. Well, I guess from a design perspective, doesn't matter to us. I understand that there will be clearances that they're gonna need to meet. But other than that, is
So
there,
we if we need to put the pan like the picture, so we have to draw a new one and submit to you.
well, I'd like to just get through this review and have you revise it and submit it to the planning board, and we'll note in our comments that we discussed that there's actually a planter there and not a band. Not just an elastic barrier. Okay,
Mhm.
is that okay with the board?
Okay
Totally
with
fine
me.
with me.
Okay,
Mark,
Yeah.
excuse me, I just, was asking Alex Klee from planning about this. And as she understands it, they are not coming to planning board. As long as the seating is under 30% of what was approved for inside,
oh, okay,
which off the top of her head, she didn't know what it was. And it's all on public property, and that's why select board
right,
goes through the approval with them.
okay,
We're design review board and we review all outdoor dining, but some goes through select board and of course some comes through.
Okay.
planning.
so they'll go to the select board then, that's fine. Well, I guess I'd leave it to the board of, basically I would mark up an approval and say this is actually a planter. And then we'd go from there, or we can make them revise it and come back, but that's, again, August 18th. They'll be 1 month closer to putting it away. So I'd rather get them officially approved through the select board if we can. But again, I'll leave it up to the other members.
I'm on board with marking it up and
Okay.
pushing and approving it.
Okay,
Right, as long as the correct space is maintained, I'm fine with, also with it.
okay. Yeah, it's tight. All right, so. Any other issues, Felix, on the,
No, I think it's great. It's great for the community. It's a great location for it. It's maintained. They're responsive. I think it's great.
okay. And we're okay on, well, clearly the furniture's been there and it's working. I guess my only comment is, as I looked at these, there are a variety of color options available on those bands. And I would have preferred black to go with the black tables and the black chairs and the black stanchions instead of this blue. But
Okay.
if you replace those, please, in the future, just get black ones.
Okay.
But I'm not going to make that a condition at this point, given that this is sort of an upgrade to your existing. I'm just confused, just the deceptive view here. It looks like it's blocking that access way.
And it has in the past blocked it.
Okay,
That's
right.
they've
Well, other,
fixed it.
okay. Other people enforce that, and obviously from a design perspective, we think you've created a bit of a pinch point there, so you need to monitor that carefully. Okay.
Okay.
So
Oh, there it
Mark,
is.
if you want, there's the first picture in the series actually shows it best. The first photograph that you just passed it. That
Okay.
one. That shows the pinch point the best.
Yep. Okay. With this
Yeah.
up, with this other piece.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the town's planter had that big flare. Okay. All right, so I would take a motion to approve these outdoor seating as submitted with the condition, well, that I will do a simple correction on the drawing illustrating that there's a planter where they currently show just a plastic barricade panel or strip.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we come to the vote. Steve,
Yes.
Felix,
Yes.
and I approve. All right, so we will mark something up and that will get forwarded. We'll get it back to you. I think, Lisa, we also forward it to the select board so that they have it when they do their
Yes.
review. Okay,
Okay.
all right, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the zoom through here.
The minutes.
Minutes of our last meeting. Hold on here. July 8th, 7:30. Only Steve and I were there. So I would take a motion to, if there are any questions or comments on the minutes?
No,
Okay, so I take a motion to approve the minutes. Steve?
make the motion.
Right, and we will, since Felix, you can actually second for us and then we'll.
I'll
just-
I'll second and then abstain.
Okay, and we come to the vote. Steve
Yes,
and Felix is abstaining,
Abstain.
and I approve. All right, so that's good. And any other business? At this point, our next meeting is the 19th of August, so we're back on a slightly larger time span, which I think has been working well for everybody. I don't know what vacation schedules are, but I hope we have everybody. We'll have our new member on the 18th. They get approved tomorrow night, so at the select board.
Do we know who it is?
Yes, Millie, no, I can't. I'd have to look up her last name, one sec.
Pradhan.
Yeah, Millie Pradham. She's a landscape architect, works at a larger, I don't know exactly which firm, but she's a project manager. They do a fair amount of state work and urban planning work, so.
Oh.
We'll have another plant voice and somebody, she was originally went to architecture school, so she's also got a big architecture background before she switched to landscape design, so should be a good addition.
Did everyone receive their zoning board, zoning bylaws?
Yes.
Good. Got
Thank
it in the mail. Thank you for sending
Great.
that out.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the other thing might be to send the town general bylaws, so everybody has a printed copy
Yep.
of the town, of the sign bylaw, which is chapter 5 in the general bylaws.
Yeah. We don't have printouts, so I'll just print some
Yeah.
and send
Well,
them out to you.
Okay. We also show up a couple other spots in there, but that's okay. All right, so I would take a motion to adjourn,
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
and we vote Steve,
Yes.
Felix,
Yes,
and I am yes. All right, thanks, everybody.
thank you.
Um,
Thank you.